Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, let's talk about the benefits of being single. I obviously am not single, but I was for quite a while. And if Imi, my girlfriend, and I were to break up, I would be just as happy without her as I am with her. I'm obviously very grateful for her, but I wouldn't just be miserable just because I'm single. And this video isn't me, saying that you should be single. I'm obviously not here to tell any of you what to do or how to live your life. But a lot of people, maybe most people in society, and maybe lots of you, have this sort of terrifying fear of being single. And that can cause you to sort of rush into a relationship that maybe isn't a good fit for you, or be with someone who maybe isn't a good match for you, out of this terrifying fear of being alone. A lot of you also put a lot of judgment on yourself, and you feel like being single means that you're a loser or there's something wrong with you, or why do I not have a relationship or a girlfriend or a boyfriend like other people? Especially those of you who are virgins, especially those of you males, those guys who are virgins, you sort of beat yourself up for not having any women in your life. So let's focus on some of the positives of being single to help make it this less overwhelmingly terrifying, awful, scary, big thing. And being single doesn't have to be bad. In fact, it can be an opportunity. It can be an opportunity to work on yourself, to build a relationship with yourself. And then when you do get into a relationship, you've already built that independence. You already have a healthy self esteem. You already like yourself, and you're not relying on the other person to fill in the blanks and give you that validation. In other words, you're not needy because you already are happy with yourself. Being single is a great chance to build your independence, which, by the way, is the number one quality that helps with a long-term relationship. Having independence, having your own life going on, liking yourself, having some self-esteem, which you then share with the other person and build a connection with the other person. Imi and I, my girlfriend and I, have been together for 6.5 years because we're very happy and independent in ourselves and in our own lives. And we then come together and share that. We're not needy, we're not desperate, we're not relying on the other person to make us happy. We're taking responsibility for that. And so being single can be a really good opportunity to work on that. So again, if you happen to find yourself being single right now, that doesn't say anything bad about you. It doesn't mean you're a loser. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. In fact, there could be some potential opportunities or some potential good things that come out of being single. So let's start with the big, most obvious one: self-discovery and personal growth. If you are by yourself, if you don't have anyone that you're dating, or maybe you're dating but not seriously, like you're just having a little bit of casual sex or something, maybe you're not having even that. It can be a great opportunity to work on some self-discovery, some personal growth, some self-esteem, figuring your shit out. What better opportunity than when you're by yourself to figure out what you want from life, what makes you happy, what you're interested in, who you want to be. Some exercises that can help with this is the 50 things about yourself that are likable exercise. So you just get out a piece of paper or do it on your computer, write down 50 things about yourself that are likable. That's you building a bit of self-esteem, realizing that you have a lot to offer. If you can't get to 50, that's okay. The good news is you can go outside and start working on that list. Go do things that are likable. Go figure out some hobbies. Go try new things. Go socialize. Go talk to strangers. Help old lady cross the street. Work on your own self-improvement and your self-esteem, and then add things to that list of 50 things. Another thing you can do is mirror therapy. Go into the bathroom, look into your own eyes in the mirror, say I love you to yourself, and you're starting to build that relationship with yourself. You can also start figuring out what you want from life, who you want to be, what your goals are, what principles you want to stand by, who you are as a human being. And so use that opportunity of being single rather than saying, this is the worst thing in the entire world. What's wrong with me? Everyone else has a relationship, not me. I must be a loser. Turn it into an opportunity and a chance to figure out who you are. So then you have a lot more to share when you do get into a relationship. Another benefit of being single, particularly if you've been in a relationship and then you break up, rather than just rushing into a new relationship, you can take a little bit of an opportunity to figure out what happened in the past relationship. What things do I feel like I did really well? What could I maybe have improved? You get a little bit of like perspective on the relationship. A lot of people go from one relationship to the next with like basically no gap in the middle. They break up and they're just immediately hunting for someone to fill that sort of void in themselves. That doesn't give you a chance to reflect back on the relationship and say, what could I have done better? What could I improve? what kind of partner do I want to look for with the next person that I get into a relationship with, or the next person I go on a date with? Who do I want to be and who do I want them to be? Let me go find those people. But if you're so just desperate to sort of replace that person and fill that void in your heart, feeling like you're missing out on something if you don't just have someone in your life, you don't really get a chance to reflect and improve. Being single also gives you a really good opportunity to work on your own emotional, I guess you would say, stability, emotional independence, emotional intelligence. In other words, figuring out how to handle your own emotions and what to do with them. So many people rely on their partner to be that sort of emotional stability, and they expect their partner to cheer them up when they're sad, to be there for them when they're down. And those things are obviously a beautiful part of a relationship. But if you're needy for that and if you're reliant on the other person, that can become this big fucking burden where you're just expecting them to fix you essentially anytime you're unhappy. And so being single is a really nice opportunity to work on giving yourself that thing that you would expect from someone else. Figure out how to do things like journaling, figuring out how to do a bit of meditation, figuring out how to have friends and a social life that you can rely on a little bit when you're emotionally, upset or feeling down or angry or whatever it might be. When you're a little bit depressed, if you have other resources that you can use, journaling, meditation, friends, hobbies, etc., you're then bringing a more happy energy to a relationship. But what a lot of people do is they rely on their partner to be their sole source of cheering them up and emotional stability and happiness and validation and neediness and all of that. That's a big burden to put on your partner because your partner isn't always going to be there for you. There are going to be times, particularly in a long-term relationship, where your partner just has their own shit going on and they might not be able to be that emotional rock for you. So if you figure out how to do that yourself, either with your own friends, with meditation, with hobbies, with things that bring you joy, journaling, all of that kind of stuff, you're not so needy and putting all of that on your partner. Being single is also a really, really, really good opportunity to work on your personal goals, your hopes, your dreams, all of that sort of stuff. You obviously will find it a lot easier to work on your self-improvement when you're single. Now, that doesn't mean that a relationship has to bring you down or get in the way of your self-improvement. Not at all. In fact, you can use a partner for accountability. Imogen and I do weekly accountability check-ins. She will push me with my goals. I will push her with her goals. We push each other with building the relationship. But when you're single, you only have you to worry about. You're only thinking of yourself. And so you can work on your goals. You can get a bit of self-improvement done. You can make massive leaps with your goals. And then when you come to a relationship, you already have built that foundation of working on goals, setting goals, achieving goals, making progress, working on baby steps every day, all of that kind of beautiful stuff. Then you come to the relationship and you just keep that going. But if you're single and you're so desperate to find someone to complete you, because you're not a complete person yourself, you don't get a chance to really work on your goals, and then you come with that person and things just feel nice because it feels nice to be with someone. And you sort of forget that you even had goals and dreams in the first place. So many people become so unbelievably complacent in a relationship, and that doesn't have to be the case. But the point here is if you're currently single, what a great opportunity. Use that opportunity instead of seeing it as a bad thing or saying, fuck, man, I feel like such a loser because I'm a virgin, or I don't have a girlfriend, or I don't have a boyfriend, or I don't have a partner. Instead of seeing it as a bad thing, see it as an opportunity to work on your goals, to work on your self-improvement, and to start setting that foundation that you can then keep going when you get into a relationship. Something else that's really nice when you're single, you obviously have more freedom and independence. Now, again, you can keep freedom and independence in a relationship. I certainly do. So does Imogen. There are many, many, many ways to do that. In fact, I've talked about it a lot. If you go into my YouTube channel, click on the playlists button, scroll down a little bit, and you'll see this playlist here called Relationships. And in here, I have a whole bunch of videos on how to keep your independence. This one's probably the most relevant, obviously called Always Keep Your Independence in a Relationship. But this one here too, do not stop improving yourself in a relationship. Talk here about how most people are passive in a relationship. They don't take an active role in building the relationship. Here I talk about how I would only ever date women that have a growth mindset or a self-improvement mindset. In this video, Imi and I talked about how sometimes in a relationship, you won't necessarily like the other person. Like maybe you're grumpy, maybe they're grumpy, maybe you're going through some stuff. And so how to deal with that. In other words, how to keep your independence in a relationship and not rely on the relationship as your sole source of happiness. In this video, I talk again about having a very active role role in relationships. And rather than seeing love as just some feeling, which maybe the love is there, maybe there's love between us. No, fuck that. It's an action. Take an active role in your relationship, take an active role in loving yourself and loving your partner. So you can see there's plenty of videos here about how to keep that independence and how to keep building your own awesome life while you're in a relationship. But the point is, it is a whole lot easier to start building a foundation of freedom and independence while you're single. And so if you happen to find yourself single right now, what an amazing opportunity for you to work on your independence, for you to work on your freedom, for you to figure out who you are and how you like to spend your day, what goals you like to work on, who you want to be, what preferences you have, who you are, and building that beautiful independence. And then you bring that independent attitude to a relationship, and it will be much easier to keep that independence if you gave yourself a little bit of a chance to be single for a while. And again, you don't have to be single. This video here today is more for if you happen to find yourself being single and you have that feeling of like, man, I'm a loser, I'm not good enough, why am I single? See it as an opportunity. And that thing that you're probably wanting from a partner, intimacy, connection, a chance to spend time together, all of that kind of stuff, you can get a hell of a lot of that from your friends. If you don't have any friends, you can go out and make friends. But that social aspect and that connection and that love that you are wanting from a partner, you can just get with your friends. You can love your friends. You can have a great time with your friends, socialize with your friends, build beautiful connections with your friends. It doesn't have to be solely in a romantic sense. Like, I love my friends and my coaching clients and all of you as much as I love Imogen. I get the same sense of like connection, camaraderie. You might even say maybe intimacy is not the right word because it's not sexual intimacy between my friends and I, but it's still like a sort of intimacy. It's a vulnerability, it's a trust, it's a relationship. I get all of that from my friends and from, like I said, from you guys, and especially my clients. I build pretty strong friendships or relationships with my clients. I get to scratch that itch and have those things that I'm seeking. And then a partner, Imogen or anyone else that we might date together, is like a beautiful bonus on top of that. So being single can be a really nice chance for you to go and build great, deep, strong friendships. Similar to that, you can use being single as a great opportunity to work on your hobbies, your interests, try things, travel. You're not locked down, not that a partner has to be locking you down, but you just have more freedom of movement when you're single. So use that opportunity. Focus on traveling, focus on your hobbies, focus on your interests. Go hard with your career. A lot of my coaching clients come to me in their 30s because they were single in their 20s and they said, you know what, fuck this. I'm not going to sit around feeling like a loser just because I don't have a girlfriend. I'm going to focus hard on my career. I'm going to make a ton of money. I'm going to work in an industry that I really like. I'm going to feel like I'm doing meaningful work that actually contributes to my happiness and the greater good of the planet, other people. And then I'll do the girlfriend stuff later on. And so they go really hard with their career, put a lot of love and time and effort into that. And then when they feel like it, they then work on their dating life. So being single doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's very easy to say it's a bad thing, and a lot of people in society will tell you it's a bad thing, but it can be an opportunity. Something else that's maybe even more important is that being single can be an opportunity for you to learn to enjoy your own company. What better opportunity than when you don't have anyone to date to work on loving yourself, to work on liking yourself, to be okay with the thoughts that are in your head, to practice a bit of self-love and compassion. There's a really good book on this. This book right here by one of my favorite authors, Byron Katie, called I Need Your Love, Is That True? How to Stop Seeking Love, Approval, and Appreciation, and instead start finding them. So how to give yourself that love, that approval, that appreciation. But this book is like the #1 book on independence. Like, absolutely grab this book. It teaches you how to enjoy your own company. And maybe one of the coolest and one of the final things that I'll leave you guys with is, if you happen to be single, what a great fucking opportunity that is to figure out what kind of people you want to date, who you want to go on dates with, who you want to have sex with, who you want to build a relationship with. If you want marriage and kids and all of that stuff, you can focus on what kind of partner you would want, who you want to be, and what value you want to bring to that. You could sit down and write a list of 50 things that you have to offer people that you want to date. Like, how can you give value? Who are you as a person, and what are you bringing to the table? And then you can start to say, what kind of things would I want my partner to bring to the table, or anyone that I might date casually, or, whatever you're looking for. What kind of person do I want? how can they bring something beautiful to my life, and what beautiful things can I bring to their life? You get a great opportunity to actually be very clear with yourself and with other people about what it is that you're looking for. Again, part of the reason why people settle so much in relationships when they're unhappy and the other person isn't a great fit for them is because they didn't take the time to actually say to themselves, what do I actually fucking want? And so sit down, take some time or go for a walk, but spend some time saying to yourself, what do I want? Who do I want to be? What do I want to bring to a relationship? What do I want them to bring to a relationship and share with me? What would I want the relationship dynamic to be like? What kind of personality am I looking for? What is my personality? Use that as a chance to get very clear about who you are and who you want to bring into a relationship with you, or who you would like to share your time, intimacy, sexuality, and all of that with. What kind of person would you want to share that with? And what would you want the dynamic to look like? You can even say things like, do I ultimately want an open relationship, or do I want a monogamous relationship, or something somewhere in the middle? Like what am I looking for? Who am I? What am I looking for? I did a video on this, which is like literally about this topic. It's called this one here, Green Flags to Look For in a Partner. So you just search my channel for green flags. I literally talk about some of the green flags that I look for in a partner, and maybe some that you might look for. And obviously it's not up to me to tell you who you're going to date. That's up to you to figure out. But this video might help prompt you a little bit and get you sort of thinking, what kind of partner do I want? Who do I want to be? What do I want to bring to the table? And what do I want them to bring to the table? And in that video, I have timestamps, like chapters, that sort of give you a little bit of an insight into what I am personally into and what some of you might be into. I want someone that's into self-improvement. Obviously, I want to be attracted to them. I want someone that loves themselves, or at least doesn't hate themselves and is working on loving themselves a little bit more. I want someone positive. Like, that's absolutely mandatory for me. Like, in my life, every single friend I have is positive. Every single coach and client is positive. Every single person I would ever date or sleep with is positive. Every one of my family members is positive. Otherwise, I wouldn't spend time with them. Every single person in the YouTube comments is positive. Otherwise, I just block their comments. There's a lot of comments that just don't show up. You can mute people, like hide people on YouTube. I just do that. Anytime someone's going to be really, really, really negative towards me or someone else or any of you in the comments, it's just like, no, thank you. This is a positive community. My forums, when I used to run my forums, I would make sure or we would make sure that was very positive too, and that everyone was there to push each other and all of that. So that's something that's very important to me, feminine and sweet, because I like to be masculine and maybe I wouldn't say sweet. I guess I'm sweet, masculine and kind, masculine and nice. So I'm looking for someone who's the same thing, but feminine, someone who's sexually open and willing to try new things, bisexual, obviously, and into my girlfriend. So any girls that we date, I want to make sure they're into my girlfriend and they're bisexual. And Imogen is obviously bisexual and into other women. Some of you might not care about that, so that's just something I care about. Into BDSM and kink, you might not care about that, fair enough. Low drama, I'd say that's pretty mandatory, but a lot of people like drama, don't they? A lot of people like to fight, even though they'll say they don't. But a lot of people, drama seems to follow them everywhere because they get something out of it. Drama can be very exciting. I like people that are kind and empathetic. I like people that are emotionally intelligent or emotionally open or emotionally vulnerable or trying to be more emotionally vulnerable. I like people that are independent. Yep, we've talked about that this entire video. I like people who respect my boundaries and I respect theirs. I like people who are honest. That's very fucking important to me. I like, or people who are at least trying to be more honest. Not everyone is perfect with honesty. I'm certainly not, but we're working on being a little bit more honest. So that's what I'm looking for. People who care about honesty and are practicing it. People who want to do, either nude photo shoots or boudoir, artsy nude photos with me. That's important to me. People who are communicative, affectionate, appreciative, and grateful. That's something that's very important to me. People who are reliable, and if they say they're going to show up, they show up. So those are my green flags, and there's probably a few other ones, but those are like my main green flags. Again, this video is called Green Flags to Look For in a Partner, but you can probably start with that and then sit there and brainstorm, what kind of partner do you want to be? And then, what kind of partner do you want to have? And then what kind of partner do you want to be? What do you want to bring to the table? So with all of that said, if you currently find yourself single, It doesn't have to be this big fucking bad thing. It certainly doesn't have to be a label that you put on yourself, almost like a yellow star, like during the Nazi occupation, the Nazi times. Like, you don't have to wear this fucking flag on yourself saying, I'm a bad person, I am single, I am a loser, I'm an incel, what's wrong with me? Why am I such a loser? No, being single can be the most beautiful opportunity to work on yourself, to improve yourself, to explore that freedom and that independence, and not having to worry or think about someone else and just making whatever decisions work for you. You have complete freedom as a single person if you would just stop seeing it as a bad thing. And you might find, if you work on loving yourself, if you work on liking yourself, if you work on being okay with yourself and not judging yourself just because you don't happen to have a partner right now, you actually might start to love yourself. And guess what? Showing up to a date with the self-love energy is so much more appealing to other people. The person that likes themselves, holy shit, people want to be around that person. But the person that hates themselves and thinks less of themselves and is judgmental and says, I'm a loser because I don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, that's not as appealing. Like, that person is needy, that person, and if you're like that, that's okay. This isn't a criticism, but that person just has a more needy energy. You're more clingy. It's more like you're a burden to the other person. You're expecting them to fix all of your problems and help you be happy and give you happiness and all of that. No, fuck that. That's your job. It is no one else's job to make you happy except yours. And so being single can be a really good opportunity to work on that. And again, you might find if you work on that stuff, you just end up being single for a whole lot less time anyway, because you're a more likable, lovable person because you like and love yourself. If you'd like any more help with this, you know where to find me. There's coaching. I will leave a link in the description below to that. A lot of the stuff that we work on in the coaching program is this self-love stuff. There are a lot of people coming to the coaching program literally to learn how to like themselves and build that self-esteem. And then they just have more to offer when they go out there to date. So if that's something you want help with, links down below. As always, ladies and beautiful gentlemen, go out there, crush those goals. And if you happen to be single right now, I promise that doesn't make you a loser. I promise there's nothing wrong with you. You just happen to not have a partner in your life right now, but that doesn't have to be a value judgment. You don't have to judge yourself just because there doesn't happen to be someone sitting right next to you right now in this moment in time. You can be a whole, complete, beautiful person by yourself. That's something that I work on every day. I would say I already am whole and complete on myself, but I'm improving that a little bit every day as well. But you can be happy in yourself. You do not need someone else to be to complete you, to make you happy. Go out there, make yourself happy. I promise that you're worthy of love. You don't need to get that from someone else. Give it to yourself.